What's up, guys? Sam here with Texas Athletes, here with the guru, Coach Yale Vannoy. You guys have asked some questions, AMA. Here's the answers. Stay tuned.
My name's Yale Vannoy. I own the Yale Vannoy Quarterback Academy here in San Antonio, Texas. Throw from behind there. The 45, but I mean further back there. Just come off the angle. Yeah. Dang. I was like, which one am I? Duh. Yeah? Ah! Come on, Q's, let's go. Man, I hate it when that happens. You got that? Good, he's not a quarterback, so awesome. Awesome. It's gonna be great on film. Boomer right there. Go get that. Oh, I don't know if he got it down. I don't know if he had control. You get that foot down?
I don't think so.
Hell no. You were juggling that thing.
Coach Vannoy, we just finished 3 practices. My first question for you is, how do you feel after your practices like this?
I've been doing it for so long now. I'm not as tired as when I first started, let me put it that way, but I prep well. I mean, I eat lots of meals before I come out here. I've got meals that I eat throughout the day, water and Gatorade, all that kind of stuff. It's just my body's kind of used to it at this point, and I've also learned how to coach smarter instead of being way too active in practice where I kind of drain myself out. But
so you say you work smarter, not harder. We saw you throwing the ball out here. Do you feel like you're more involved throwing the ball with the younger guys as opposed to the older classmen?
Yeah, well, the older guys all like bringing their own receivers, which makes it great because we can do all sorts of different route concepts and we can add on to drills and everything like that. The younger guys don't really bring out receivers that much, but they also need a little bit more attention when it comes specifically to younger guys come out because they weren't learning how to throw properly. So a lot of the times I do a lot of demo. But by the time they get to high school and college, those guys are pretty set in the way that they do things, and it's just about kind of adding more layers to their drills. First thing we're gonna do is work a quick flip. I'm gonna use my left hand when I catch the ball to flip my shoulder, stick my feet in the ground, and get the ball out. We're all gonna get 2 reps of those, and after that, we're gonna go into a push, hook, and step. Under, out. You're not leaving your left foot on the ground. Watch me. As I'm doing this, I'm dragging, this foot stays on the ground the whole time. And then I push off. I don't want the 2 feet to come up. That was for the earlier rep. It's here and push.
All right, so we wrapped up season 1 of YVQB. We followed his 2021, right?
Yeah.
We followed his 2021 class of seniors. This was a special class. Looking back, in your opinion, Coach Vannoy, how do you feel season 1 went?
Yeah, it was first show that I shot, first series that I shot. It was a lot of fun. I think the big challenge was obviously COVID, right? COVID, we would get guys who have their games canceled. It was limited on what we could get into filming wise and what we couldn't. So I'm sure years when we move on and do this again and this stuff has kind of died down, we'll be able to have a lot more access to players. So I'd like to have more access to players. I'd like to get more downtime footage of those guys, being them. And once again, this was a special class with these 11 seniors, but moving forward, we'd probably keep it a little smaller because it's just so hard to tell 11 people's stories.
Sure. It was interesting from my perspective because I had a chance to meet the 11 quarterbacks the first time they handed out the YVQB dry fits. Then I got to see them play each game. So for me, it was a pretty cool experience to kind of see them up close and personal. Every athlete performed a little bit differently under different circumstances. And it's just interesting to look back. And I'm interested on how you think about some athletes, their seasons ended early because of injuries. Some athletes, the season, they didn't get to play the playoffs, like Lucas and Cornerstone. Looking back, I mean, what was your thought on just how the 11 athletes, nobody knew what was going to happen. We didn't know how it was going to play out.
Yeah.
So looking back in hindsight, what do you think about it?
You know, I think the hardest part for us was we would go to a specific game, and, that game would call for heavy running and handing off to the running back and not a lot of throwing. And since we were seeing so many guys, and I mean, you guys got to understand, we had these weeks planned out, to a T, to where we're going, this game Thursday, this game Friday, this game Saturday, next week, this game Thursday, this game Friday, this game Saturday, and then collecting film from the news and from just different highlights on TV, and they all played on TV this year. It would be tough knowing, we're only going to get maybe 1-2 shots at these guys. And if they had a game where where one of our guys was injured and didn't play, but we had already scheduled that time to go see him at that particular game, or they weren't playing for some reason, or there was an injury, it's just, you and I we had to call audible several times on how we were going to kind of navigate that process. And that's why I talked about, I think moving forward, we probably won't feature as many guys as that, because I would like to go to more games of a couple guys, so that you can really get a full spectrum of, like we went to Ty's game, and that was a game where he didn't really even throw that much, but he ended up as the leading passer in the city of San Antonio. So, yeah. But I think that's kind of just navigating that whole process, you and me, it was fun, sometimes stressful, but we had a good time doing it.
And I'm very vulnerable when it comes to sharing my experiences with them. I share not only the great things that have happened in my career, and there's been a lot of great things, I share my failures. And I don't mind sharing my failures, because they need to know that you will fail at the position.
Looking back on it, do you feel that what did that feel like to see yourself kind of exposing and becoming vulnerable on screen?
Yeah, it felt like that's how I always am. So I didn't feel ashamed of anything, or that's just how I am. I think that's why my guys love me so much, and I love them, is that especially at this position, everyone wants to be great, and they think that there's no failures, but you're going to have just as many failures as you are going to have victories. And I've had a lot of failures in my career, and being able to share those and say, dude, it's okay. I've been through this. These guys have been through this, and you're going to live. You're going to move on. The guys who really develop well, the guys who move on from it and learn from it, so that they can have a victory. Turn that L into a dub. No, that's how I am. It would feel weird if I wasn't vulnerable with the guys.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to get into some of you guys' questions. So starting off with, did you ever consider coaching as a profession?
Yeah, no. And that's an easy question for me. After I finished playing football, I knew if I coached, it would take up so much time. But especially when I get into something, I'm full force. I've got to be the best at it. And some of the best coaches I've been around, they don't see their family for months at a time. And especially doing something in college, I think that's probably where I'd be most attracted to go to. But I've got 3 kids and a wife, and this lets me kind of have the best of both worlds. I get to work with lots of different guys. We get to send them to lots of different colleges, but I still get to work on my schedule, as opposed to a kind of a 2-4-7 type thing.
What's the best way to be seen by recruiters after the season?
So it's a process. Also depends on how old you are. First thing you can do, my advice for you guys, is as soon as your season's over, put together your highlight film on Huddle, post that to your Instagram, to your Twitter, to the bio. Let coaches know. Reach out to coaches directly on Twitter. Twitter is where all the offers happen first. That's normally where offers come first, is on Twitter. So reach out to coaches, DM coaches. Then after that, you've got to get involved in signing up for camps, for not just for any camps, for college camps. If you're a quarterback, lots of colleges won't offer you until they see you throw live and in person. So any colleges that have already reached out to you, or any places you want to go, sign up for those camps so that you can already get a space. You can get there to one of their camps and meet them, see what the environment's like, see if you like them, if they like you. But those are kind of the steps. And then if you're a little bit older, you got to get invited to specialty events like Elite 11 and Rivals.com, all those kind of things where you play with Elite 7-on-7 teams and travel the country. It's exposure. So the more it really has gotten to a point where you got to promote yourself. It's a business, and So you got to treat it like a business. The guys who treat themselves like pros are the guys who make it to the next level.
All right, this one's an interesting question. Coach Vannoy, what's it like to be a GOAT?
Oh, that's funny. It's never been about me. I know that's a cliche answer, but football is the ultimate team sport. That's why I'm so attracted to it. I'm attracted that I get to work with so many different guys, and I think at one point it's just about kind of the product you produced. And I'm happy that a lot of our guys go on to have a lot of success on varsity or in college, but also that they're developed into great men. Lots of guys who I knew football wasn't going to be their end goal, but I knew they were going to be great individuals and leaders in different fields, and I get just as excited about that. So to answer your question, it's more of the kind of product speaks for itself.
Can you kind of pinpoint when you can see, I guess every athlete is different, but in general, is there a time when you can see the athlete start to take that step?
Definitely. 8th grade. 8th grade is when you see them. They're going to be special. Like, guys who I have who, I've got 3 guys this year who signed, four guys this year, they're signing D1. You could tell pretty early on just for their mentality and how important it was to them. But by the time they get to 8th grade, I can just tell what their bodies are going to be like. I can tell how serious they are. I can tell, are they out here because they really want to be and they want to be great? Or are they out here because their parents want them to be out here? They're just able to do things that other kids can't, and to be extremely great and go on and play really high quality football. It's normally about 8th grade where I can tell this kid's going to be extremely special. And I had a parent ask me, why don't I work more run-based stuff with these athletes, and which I think is a great question. And I actually kind of used to do some. I think the issue is that most offenses don't run their quarterback a ton and don't do option stuff with them a ton. They're really requiring these guys to make specific throws, throw on time, off time, on platform, off platform. So those are the things we really work hard. But I'm glad I got that question because it made me kind of think, I need to add a period into practice to where we're working on our pitching or our tossing and our different types of play action, just because I always say quarterback is like playing golf. You don't want to be able to hit 1 or 2 clubs. You want to hit your whole grouping of clubs, and we try to make these practices as involved as possible, as much as we can do, but that's something I can do a better job of, and I'm kind of excited to do it because I had a lot of success doing it myself in college.
Right.
Yeah. One of the questions I got asked is, besides working hard, what kind of advice do you give to your quarterbacks to be great? And I can think of one thing specifically. You have to have a healthy obsession with playing the position. And what that means is, treating yourself like a pro. So what do the pros do? Well, the pros have all their days scheduled out. They have there's never a day where they're not doing something, where they're not warming their body up properly, recovering properly, going through the workouts properly. So if you're not doing those things, then I don't think you have a healthy obsession with the position. It's probably not going to be the right position, or you're going to kind of plateau out. So and I think you guys know deep down, do I have a healthy obsession? Can I really do this? Do I love it? Am I going to give everything to it? The guys who already have some talent, but they also have a healthy obsession, those are the guys, all my guys in college. That tells you them. And so that's the one common denominator that all my guys in college have. They have a healthy obsession with playing the position.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense, though. That's very interesting. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up with the AMA with Coach Vannoy. Like we said, stay tuned for season 2. We got a lot of stuff in the works. Can't wait to share it with you guys. You have to stay tuned, Coach Vannoy. We had a great time season 1. Thanks for bringing us out to the practice, seeing the young athletes, seeing the upperclassmen. It was a blast. Guys, stay tuned. More footage coming soon.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy some football. That's the end goal right there. Hard work on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hard work.